Thank you all for coming. Let us quickly just talk about what we're going to show today. First of all, there is going to be a quick introduction: who is EBS, what we do, what we offer to you. Then we're going to split our presentation between two lines of our products. The first line being the universal transmitters, and the special type, the newest type that we're going to present is EPX 400. And the second part of the presentation will be about our newest alarm panel, AVA Pro. In between the presentations, we will be showing you on my camera the devices and how you can connect them and how easy it is to install them. With the screen sharing option, I will be showing you the mobile applications that we prepared for the users, but for the installers as well. So let's get going. Few words about EBS. EBS is a Polish manufacturer already present in 5 continents. We can say that we have clients in all over the world. We are present in the market for over 30 years now, so that's quite some time for the security company, for the fabricant of the devices. All around the world, from our data that we collected, we can say that we have 3 million devices working in field. Some of them for longer than 10 years, which only shows that our devices are really durable and can work for a long time. We have our own R&D, research and development department, and our own factory, which is located here in Poland as well, in the special economic zone. Because of that, we can say that we are all of our products are European, Polish products. None of them are Chinese. We do everything alone, beginning from the hardware, going to the casings as well. We have partnerships with the largest security agencies and even the governmental institutions all over the world. So that was a quick introduction about who we are and what we do. As I said earlier, here's the quick look of a list of our distributors. We are in 5 continents, and our offices are, of course, in Poland, one in Brazil, which is a joint venture company called EBS Brazil, and lately we opened an office in the USA, in Miami, because we are beginning to expand our market to the USA as well. And about our product lines, our EBS solutions, we can distinguish the 3 lines of products. First line being the guard touring and personal protection devices for the guards, and the main one being active track. Second line is, as I said, the universal transmitters, and the third line are alarm panels. So today we're not going to talk about the active track. We already conducted separate presentations about it. Of course, if you are interested, we have the videos and links already prepared for it. But today we're going to talk about the universal transmitters and alarm panels, and maybe some words about them. Together with our partner By Demes, here in Europe, we're offering 2 types of transmitters, one being the regular GPRS transmitters, and the second one, the one that we're going to talk about today, is 3G and IP transmitter. Both are certified with grade 3. That is why By Demes is our strategic partner and is our distributor in Europe. Thanks to that certification, we are able to provide the better sense of security. And two of those panels, both the older LX20G and the newest one, EPX 406C, have the functionality of bidirectional communication. That means that they are able to remotely allow changing the configuration of an external alarm panel. We can say that we are compatible with the biggest providers of the alarm panels, them being, for example, Paradox or DSC. Without any problems, we can reconfigure those panels remotely using only 2 connections with the phone line by our transmitters. We're going to talk about it later in the presentation. And the third line being the alarm panels. We started with the first line of the alarm panels called the Callisto family. Those were our first transmitters, but today we're going to show you our newest alarm panel called AVA Pro, or in the technical point of view, CPX 300, which is really a novelty in the market by its design and functionality. Of course, with By Demes, we provide it to you. Currently, it is under certification for grade 2. That's why in some countries we know that we are waiting for it, but where it is not necessary, we are offering it currently, right now. So, a few words about our point of view about the security business solution. In EBS, we do not provide only hardware. We do not only provide transmitters, control panels, or the guard touring devices. We also provide software together with those devices. So we offer a complete EBS ecosystem to our clients. That means that with any kind of device comes a communication server, which allows you to get the events from the devices and pass them to your monitoring station, to your own application or your own software. But of course, we offer as well our own softwares and application, some of them being an application for the final user, for the end user. And by this application, he can arm or disarm his panels, have control over his transmitters, applications for the installers that make their work much easier. And we're going to show them by the screen sharing. I'm going to present them to you today. Okay, so let us start talking about the EBS smart transmitters and the newest one being EPX 406C. In EBS, EBS was the first manufacturer in the world to fabricate to produce a universal transmitter working in GSM and later in 2G, GPRS. All of our transmitters provide the functionality of emulating the phone line. That means that connecting our transmitter to the external control panel, we are able to receive the data by the PSTN line by the contact ID or SIA format without any type of problem, and then we can pass them via phone line or via GPRS to the monitoring station. What is else is that our transmitters can be programmed to work as a standalone control panel, a small control panel, using the zones, the inputs provided in the board. We can configure a small control panel for ourselves without the need of buying a larger larger control panels, that we're not going to use most of the possibilities. But with the development over the years of our transmitters, finally we included the development of the newest EPX 400, which is, we can say, a combination of all our other transmitters. It has the biggest board, which provides us with the biggest number of zones, the inputs, and the biggest number of outputs. It has the possibility of using 2G, 3G, and currently we also have the 4G version. And it has communication over IP. Simply by connecting Ethernet cable, we are able to start communicating over the TCP IP line. And what is very, very important in this type of transmitter is the possibility of bidirectional communication with external control panels. We're going to talk about it later. And now maybe a few words about the EPX 400 itself and how does the board look like. In the basic version, as I said, we have the 3G module. In the 5C version, we provide you with the 2G module, and in the future we are working on providing 4G module as well. We have 3 transmissions. We can configure the device to send the data by Ethernet connection, GPRS connection, or if we want to, and if our SIM card allows us to, we can send the data via SMS, text messages. What is else is, as I said, it provides us with 9 inputs. Of course, all of them are configurable, which means that we can configure them in mode normally open, normally close, end of line, or double end of line, however we want to. However, it is necessary while working with external sensors, external, for example, PR detectors, something like that. We also provide you with 3 outputs, 2 of them being the regular open collector output and 1 relay output, which really allows us to control them, to connect any type of electronics, and by mobile applications to be able to turn on and turn off those outputs, and in reality have control over those electronic devices connected to those outputs. The board of the EPX 400 has the power supply, is power supply ready. That means that we can connect the AC power supply directly to the board. We don't need to connect only the battery or to power it from the board of the control panel that it is connected to. We have we provide you with the detection of weak levels of signal of the GSM channel, and the interference, the jamming of the signal. If something like that occurs, we have automatically an event generated, which is being passed to the monitoring station of any with that type of emergency event. Of course, the PSTN over voltage protection, which means that we can connect any type of panel and nothing is going to happen to the transmitters if something is not working properly. And on the board, there is a present configuration port by which we program the device via cable connection or our Bluetooth configuration device, which is really a small device that looks like a pen drive, and it is really handy for the installers to use in their regular work. What is optional, as you can see in the board of the device, is the second slot for the SIM card, which can provide the second backup channel for us. And the radio frequency module can be put on the board as well in order to work with remote controllers. All right, so what provides the transmitter for the end user? What are the benefits? First of all, time and cost savings. By using our transmitters, we can really save a lot of time by working with it, which means that we can really fast do reconfiguration of the device via text messages, because it allows it as well, GPRS connections or Bluetooth connections. So there won't be a situation where the installer has to climb a ladder, connect a cable to his laptop, his computer, and program it in uncomfortable position. He can do it remotely via GPRS, sitting at his desk in the office, or via Bluetooth connection, sitting in the chair, sipping coffee, and configuring the device from his mobile phone. What else is the reliability of the transmission and how easy it is for us to receive and pass the data. Of course, the transmitters, as said earlier, are compatible with the most used protocols all over the world in various control panels, the protocols being CEA, Contact ID, or Ademco Express. Every one of those protocols is understandable by our transmitters, and we can pass the information to the monitoring station however the monitoring station wants us to. What is else is the clients all over the world really like the functionality of Watchdog, which really provides a lot of safety and quality of using the device, because we can imagine situations that for whatever reason can be the reason of provider of the GPRS network, it stops working suddenly, so the device loses connection to the communication server. And in our transmitters, we have the possibility of configuring it in the way that for example, 10 minutes or 15 minutes without any transmissions, it will automatically do a reset of the communication modem or hold the device and try to connect one more time. Whereas some other transmitters in the market do not have the possibility and have to be resetted manually by the installer by disconnecting and connecting again the power. Our transmitter can do it on its own, so it is a really nice feature. And of course, what is a huge deal for the end users is the EBS security mobile application, which allows you to arm and disarm any type of control panel really in the world by only connecting 2 or 3 cables. By using the arming zone, the key switch zone in the control panel, we connect it to one of our outputs in the transmitter, and by sending a remote command via the application, we are able to arm or disarm this given panel. And of course, possibility of controlling up to 3 outputs of the transmitter itself, which, as I said earlier, we can connect to electronic door or our door to our garage, or we can operate with the lights in our rooms however we want to. And the functionality of downloading or uploading the data via GPRS, which is a big deal in the market and something that no one else in the world provides. So with our transmitter, the EPX406C, we can connect it via the PSTN line to an external control panel, for example, Paradox, DSC, some Honeywell panels, for example. And by our special software, the modem emulator, we can simply fool the control panel's software to think that it has a modem, the phone modem connected to the computer, where in reality all of the communication doesn't go through the phone line anymore. The communication goes via the GPRS connection to the transmitter and then passes to the control panel. By this functionality, we are able to access the control panel's configuration remotely, totally remotely, and depending on the control panel type, by 5 minutes or maybe 15 minutes of connection, we are able to change the configuration, whereas other alternative would be sending a technician to the client's house, changing the configuration of the panel by combination of buttons in the keypad, which really takes time and money to go to the client's house. Whereas with our transmitters, what they do is they sit at their desk in the office and reprogram it in 15 minutes without moving at all. So here's the list of control panels that are compatible for now with the EPX400. So as I said, the Paradox panels, NAPCO panels, DSC, and Honeywell. But from my personal experience working in the technical department of EBS and talking to a lot of clients all over the world, the list is much broader because the list that we are presenting in this presentation is only a list of the panels that were checked in our research and development department. So, for example, I can tell to you that we're talking about Paradox, the SP line, SP4000, 5000, 6000 work as well. The DSC 2064 works as well with this functionality. So the list in reality is much broader, but as I said, this is the list of the panels checked in our company. And for those panels, we have prepared a list of manuals with step-by-step configuration of what needs to be done in order to achieve the uploading and downloading functionality. I'll be presenting those manuals shortly to show you how easy it is that EBS with its manuals guides you to every step of this process. All right, so that would be, I see that some Spanish gracias is at the end, but that would be it for the PowerPoint presentation about the universal transmitters and EPX400. And what I would really like to do now is show you the possibility of using our mobile application that I was talking about earlier. So let me quickly stop sharing the view of PowerPoint presentation and let me show you my mobile screen. Jose or Daniel, can you confirm to me that the screen is visible?
Yes, we see it.
Yes, so yeah, I see it.
Okay, perfect. So that is the look of our mobile application. Oh, maybe let me just quickly close it and open it again so you can see how does it look like. It is called EBS Security. It is ready to download from the Google Play if you're an Android user, or from iPhone store, application store if you are using iPhone. Just quickly search for EBS Security and you'll find this icon in this application. And after opening, a screen shows like that. What is important that the logo is customizable. So if your clients or if you want to change the application look for yourself, put the logo of your company here. is we can configure it like that if you want to. And then an end user only needs to put his PIN code for the application and starts the session. And here what does he see is a list of the objects that he is allowed to have control. So the EBS security allows us to have control over the EBS's control panels and EBS's transmitters. So the number of the objects is unlimited in the application. So we can imagine a situation that a user has his house protected by our device. In his company, there is a transmitter. In his vacation house, he has also a control panel, so he can have everything here in the application easily accessible. All right, let us go quickly to the specified object. Here I have prepared a transmitter by Demes training connected to a DSC panel. All right, so now I'll be sharing my camera. So can you guys quickly tell me if you can see me in the camera?
Yeah.
All right, so that's me. Hello once again. So now to the camera, I'm going to show you how does it look like, how it is connected. So here's a DSC Neo panel connected to the EPX400 transmitter. So you can see that it is a really compact. Well, this is a version of for presentation purposes. Everything is put on one board, but only with 5 connections, we are ready to have control and arm and disarm remotely by the application and have the possibility of the bidirectional communication. And another example here, I'm going to show you with the camera. This example of the paradox panel already put into the casing with the EPX400. Again, only 5 connections are enough to have the full control over the panel, if we're talking about arming and disarming it, and obtaining information via the PSTN line, and having the possibility of uploading and downloading the data to the panel directly. Here, of course, the keypad is already connected as well in order to arm or disarm it. So yes, it is really compact and it is really easy for installers to do it. All right, so now let me quickly disable the video, not use the bandwidth that much, and yeah, okay. Here we are in the application. Yeah, I was using this example for the Spanish department of By Demes earlier. That's why you see some of the inputs are named in Spanish, but of course, we provide the possibility of changing the configuration however the user wants to. So let us quickly change it. We go search for our device, By Demes training, edit object, and here I can change the name of the zone, for example, to main door. I can put a photo of an object in order to distinguish it from other objects on the list. It can be photo of my house, or here I put simply the photo of the board, 2 boards next to each other. I save the configuration, and that's all that needs to be done. Now going back, I already see that the main door is configured. And yeah, it is really easy for the end user to operate with. Okay, so now with the functionalities of what it provides to us. First of all, we can see the state of the device. So here in the red, I can see that it doesn't have the AC connected, but it only works from the battery. And with the green link, I can see that it is online. So on the first glance, the user can see the state of his panel without any other softwares or any other complicated measures. Just by quick glance, you can see the main state of their device. And what do we have below is really what interests us the most, the possibility of remotely arming and disarming any control panels. And I really like to talk about it in a way that it gives a second life, a new life to older, already existing panels in the market. So we can imagine a situation where the client has a panel of Paradox or DSC installed in his house for 5 or maybe, I don't know, 8 years already, but he only had possibility of arming and disarming it by the keypad or the remote controller. Simply by connecting the EBS transmitter, we give a second life to this older control panel without changing any configuration because of the panel, because the client is already accustomed to it. It already likes using the panel and doesn't want to change it. We only increase the amount of functionalities because we provide the possibility of arming and disarming it by a remote application. An example from the markets are elderly people that use the panels in a more traditional way with the keypad, but they have in their family much younger people that really use their mobile phones all the time. And by this application, they have access to the control panel and have possibility of arming and disarming and helping their parents, their grandparents of operating with their systems without any problem. So by quickly looking on the applications all the time, it gets the state of the panel if it is armed and disarmed. Currently it is disarmed, that's why I see the lock open and in the green. And if I want to panel, just simply by pressing the lock button, the closed lock, I'm sending a remote command via the communication server to the transmitter. And when it receives the command, by activating its output, it is arming the control panel. And after the time for exit, when the panel will update its status on their output, I will see the state change in the application. So yeah, let the panel arm, and the functionality of arming is really simple. Yeah, I already have it armed, and of course, if some other user wants to disarm it by other methods, as I said, we do not change any previous configuration of the control panel. So if any user wants to disarm it now via keypad or remote controller, I'm going to do it now via keypad. After the time for entrance, when the panel will be disarmed, the application will automatically refresh the state, and we will receive the information in the application. So nothing is really lost. Yeah, the panel is currently disarming, and it will change state when it will be disarmed. So in fact, it is a great addition to existing control panels, existing solutions, when we do not want to lose previous configuration, previous working methods, but we want to give another functionality, another second life for the transmitters. And yeah, if it comes to controlling the outputs of the EPX400 transmitters, as it was described in the presentation, we can connect whatever we want. Here, in the Spanish presentation, there was an example of luces, which means lights in Spanish. So, for example, lights to your room or electronic door to your garage, you can connect it via cable to one of the outputs on the board of the transmitter, and quickly by pressing the button, you have the possibility of turning them on or off. What is else is that the application provides the history of the events for the end user. So you have all of the information, everything that happened in the transmitter itself, but also everything that was passed via the PSTN line from the control panel. So we can see that, for example, yeah, I had no battery on the 7th of April because I disconnected it. I can see that there was some arming and disarming made, and this information was passed in reality via the PSTN line. So I received it in the application. I can see all of the details of the communication, that the partition 1 was armed by the user number 6 in the control panel's memory. So, which is a really nice addition, that the user can really check at all times what was happening lately in their panel, and yeah, all the information about the state is never lost, and you can always check it. Of course, all of those information we can configure it that on a way that it goes to the EBS security application, but at the same time it can go to your monitoring station. So both the final user has the possibility of checking the history of the event, but every event also goes to the monitoring station. So we can configure it however we want to. Yeah, and that would be all if it comes to the application for the end user. Of course, if there are any questions, we will be more than happy to answer them at the end of our presentation. But now, let me just quickly go and to show you the other application, the application for the installer that really makes his life much more easier by working with EBS devices, and just how quickly it is and easy it is to reconfigure our devices. So let me just go to the application itself. The application is called EBS Install T. T stands for transmitters, and with the variety of our applications for installers, this one is dedicated to the list of our universal transmitters, one of them being the EPX 406C. And let me just quickly change the language to English again after the Spanish presentation. Here it is in English. Yeah, and what it offers us. Sorry, one more checkup. Do you see the application, Jose? Daniel, can you tell me?
Yeah, we see it.
Yeah, we see it.
Okay, perfect.
See it?
Okay. So what it offers us is a list of default configuration. Yeah, here I have them saved in Polish, but domain name means default for a variety of our transmitters, but the installer can make his own pre-configuration. So what does it mean exactly? If he knows that with every installation he will be connecting to the same server, that he will always connect something to the first input and connect something to the first output, that he knows that he will want to configure the watchdog functionality to check the connection and reset the device if there are no connection every 15 minutes. If he wants to enable the SMS configuration. If he knows that every time he will be installing the EBS transmitters, he will do the same things, he can create some configuration for himself. He just chooses the type of the device that he will be using. In my case, it is the EPX 400XC because I am using the 6C version. I'm changing it however I want to. Installation, let it be in Spanish, it doesn't matter. And here, if I created the configuration, what I need to do is only to press the send button and the configuration is done. So by connecting, as I said, the Bluetooth configuration device to the transmitter communication port and pairing the Bluetooth device with my mobile phone, I am ready to configure our transmitters in less than 5 minutes with the ready pre-configuration. And if I want to change the pre-configuration, I of course go here and I don't know, I want to change some configuration about the inputs. I go here to the inputs. I'm changing, as I said, input number 1. I know that I will be always connecting it in the normally open mode. I just quickly choose it. And I'm ready to go. I'm ready to save the configuration and to send it to the device. So it really, you know, it is really easy to use this application for installers, and it really takes less than 5-7 minutes with connecting the cables to existing control panel and then sending the configuration. So it really saves a lot of time and effort for the installer. Of course, you have the installers. Yeah, I can save, of course, the configuration and exit. Here I have it on my list. So with the new installation, with the new client, I just go connect the EPX 400 to their control panel. I just choose this configuration, send it to the device, and my work is done. So it is really, really easy for them to work with our devices. And of course, we provide the possibility of checking the state of the device after connecting the Bluetooth programmer. I will obtain the information about the status of the device, if the AC is connected, if the battery is connected, what is the level of the GSM signal. I'll be seeing the state of the inputs and the outputs in my device, and I will see the communication log of everything that is happening in the device. So it is really a good method for the installers to check if the work that they did is a correct way. If maybe some cable is not connected properly, so they will see that the battery is showing the 0 volts level, or maybe that they didn't connect properly the AC, or maybe that they didn't program the server parameters properly, so they will see that the device is disconnected from the server. So it is a really good method for them to check their work. And again, it is really with one click, they see all of the state and then can see the state of the inputs, output, and quick verification, again, less than 5 minutes after finishing their configuration work. All right, so I believe that now it concludes the transmitter parts if it comes to applications. And now let me just quickly go and show you some of the manuals that we prepared for you and for the installers and for the clients. So let me change the screen sharing method. All right. So, for example, here I'm going to show you a manual of how to connect. Well, here I presented different type of the transmitter, but it really doesn't matter if it comes to connection. The EBX 400 will work the same way. Connecting in this example, DSC PC version 1864 into the EBS security application in order to have the possibility of arming and disarming it. So we have prepared all of by different types of the control panels, 4 steps for each of them, how to configure them in order to work with our applications. Firstly, how to connect them, connect it in order to work. As I said, maximum number of connections is 5 because you need 3 connections in order to arm and disarm the panels, and 2 more by connecting the PSTN line in order to have the possibility of obtaining the PSTN line data in contact ID, for example. Second step would be to reprogram the control panel to enable the key switch zone and showing the status of armed or disarmed by the output of the panel. So here, just basically step by step what needs to be pressed on the keypad. So in reality, the end user can do it themselves. There is no need for calling the installer, but of course it is a help for installers as well. They don't need to check the manuals of the devices. They have it already prepared by EBS. And how we need to program the transmitter in our configuration software. Here in the screen is shown the desktop version of our configuration software. If the installer doesn't want to use the mobile application, of course we have the desktop application as well prepared. So it is really self-explanatory how to work with it, and he can use the desktop application without any kind of problem. And then at the end, configuration, the EBS security application, the final step, just checking if everything is connected right and choosing the correct output and input that was connected in the first step here. And then the look is like that, as I showed you in my short presentation. Just by quickly, we have the view of the lock, open lock and closed lock to arm and disarm the control panel. So by 2 pages of manual really provide you all of the information necessary. What kind of manual will provide you as well is a downloading manual, how to perform the downloading functionalities, and how to really work with the downloading functionality. Here, let us quickly go with the Paradox Magellan 5050 example. Yeah, so again, EPX 400, 6C version or 5C version, okay, it can be connected by the PSTN line to the control panel, and that's it if it comes to the connections. And then after connecting it to the our communication server, which is accessible for free on our website, and of course we provide any kind of help with installing it. With the modem emulator, as I said, we are fooling our computer in order to think that it has a physical modem connected, when in reality it is our software that is emulating it. And at the end, in the control panel software, in the case of Paradox panels, it is Babyware software. You have everything described of how to configure the software in order to work with our transmitters, and you're ready to go. So really, it is really easy for the installers to work with this kind of solution, even though they didn't have experience earlier. Step-by-step manuals really provide them with all of the information that is necessary. All right, so again, as we said before we started, all of the manuals will be shared with you guys at the end. So let me quickly conclude this part. And I believe that, yeah, it concludes everything that we wanted to tell you about the universal transmitters and EPX 400. And now let us go to the PowerPoint presentation about the AVA Pro solution, which is our newest control panel. Jose, I don't know if you want to add something.
Yeah, maybe if you want to ask some questions now about the transmitter.
Oh, yeah, maybe we can start with some questions. Yeah, you're right.
If you
Thank you
have.
for that. Yeah, if you guys have any questions, let us quickly answer them.
The same way, we are about to, Maciej is about to present our control panel, AVA Pro. But if you would like, for example, to make a short break, 2, 3, up to 5 minutes, please let us know. We are fine with time. Just let us know.
How do you see, guys? You want to make a break? Do you have something to question to these guys from ABS, to Marshall?
I'm ready for the next section.
Oh, let's go.
Okay.
All right, so by the democratic voting, we have selected going to the next part. All right, so let me just enable the screen share again. All right, is the screen visible for you guys?
Yes, we see it.
Okay. So now we begin the EBS Smart Academy part connected to AVA Pro, AVA Pro solution, which is the newest alarm panel alarm system by EBS. With the development of this product, we thought about the saying "simply simple." We want to provide a really simple design and with a really simple use for the end user to use our control panels, because we all can agree that we have maybe two banking cards, yeah, debit or credit cards. We all have some accounts in the internet, the Facebook account, LinkedIn account. Some of us have Instagram accounts, YouTube accounts, many other pages that require passwords to remember, the email password. So with the control panels that has a keypad that requires another code in order to arm it or disarm it, some users may be discouraged to use it. We contacted I lost the word, but yeah, we conducted a search amongst our clients and asked them if the end users really use their panels, and a lot of monitoring stations told us that really 50% of the users do not use their control panels, do not arm their control panels after 1 month of using the panels. So they really are discouraged about arming and disarming it because it takes too much time or too much effort. When they come back from work, or from shopping, they have all the bags in their hands. They need to press some combination of the buttons, and they are really discouraged to use it. And now with the development of the product, we thought about those kinds of clients that really like the simplicity of use and what we can do for them to make the use of the control panel much accessible. And we're going to talk about it in a moment. But AVA Pro, because that's the name again of the new control panel, answers 4 basic market needs. So the modernity, because we all know that we live in the IoT, Internet of Things era. So we provide the shown earlier EBS security application, but EBS config 2.0 for the installers. The AVA Pro also supports the smart home functionalities, being the Z-Wave devices, smart home devices. Of course, the connections, which are really easy to configure by the GSM GPRS, but also the Ethernet and Wi-Fi connections, and touchless user identification. That is the one thing that I was beginning to talk about, that we do not need to put any kind of code in order to arm or disarm our system. We'll talk about this functionality, of course, a bit later in the presentation. The comfort of use with the new system and the design, the modern look, is really something nice that we get a lot of compliments from our clients, that the look of our control panel is really nice, and the functionality. Of course, that is something that is most important in the alarm panel. We provide the two-way communication, which is a really standard in the current times. Of course, our remote devices, remote sensor work with a two-way communication. Our remote controller has a diode built in, which shows us, which confirms the commands that are being sent. The red blinking if the system is being armed, the green blinking if the system is being disarmed. We provide you with 64 zones divided into 4 partitions. The peer cam, which is a PIR detector with a camera built in that can take photos in the case of alarm or on demand. and one press command in the keypad, which allows the much easier access to our control panels for the end user. And the hardware concept. As you can see, the panel at the first glance seems very empty, and that is because we allow the installer or the client to choose which modules he wants to put into the board. We're going to present each module later, but the basic board provides you with up to 64 wireless zones, 8 of them being wired zones in the board, but with the specific configuration of doubling the zones, we can have up to 16 wired zones. We have 4 programmable outputs, and the panel can be managed by 32 users with, of course, 32 remote controllers and 32 AVA keys, which really, in reality, are our user code to ARM or ARM departition. We'll talk about it later. And of course, the 4 partitions, which can be managed by up to 8 keypads. A simple solution. As I said earlier, we thought about, during the design and development of this product, we thought about the final user, the end user, how to make their life easier and their alarm system more accessible while maintaining the security level on high level. So the AVA Pro modules, as I said, the board comes empty at the first glance, and it is up to us while configuring the system which module do we want to put in. For example, again, I'm going to repeat myself, but it is really important. Saving of time, effort, and money. If we know that our client will not use the Wi-Fi connection, we do not put this module. If we know that they have a stable connection of the Ethernet cable, we can connect the Ethernet module and connect the Ethernet cable in order to have the communication. So we do not have to put the GSM, 2G, or 3G module. So we can really be flexible with every installation. We can check what are the possibilities of given object, the given situation, and we can choose which modules we want to put in. Of course, we can put all of the modules at the same time with the Wi-Fi and the Ethernet module being exchangeable and to work with every type of module. So here's the look how we put the modules in the board itself. Again, if we want to use the smart home functionalities, we put in the Z-Wave module that operates with those smart home devices. But if the user is not keen on using them, we just simply take out this module and we save money because we do not have to install it. And the added value of AVA Pro accessories. Here, a few more words about the touchless user identification. As I said, here in the screen, we have a perfect example. A lady coming in to her house with 2 hands full of bags after shopping, and she would have to press a combination of 4 digits, or in some system up to 6 digits or 8, in order to disarm their panel. The system is already counting the time for the delay for entrance, and she may be late and the alarm will go off. But with our solution, while she has the AVA key presented on the screen in her bag, in her purse, in her socket, she needs to be close to the keypad with the proximity of 3 up to 5 meters, and AVA key being an active RFID communicates with the keypad and enables the user to have control over the alarm system. So she has in reality 1 code less to remember. She can simply go to the keypad and with 1 button disarm her system. So it's really simple for her to use her alarm system. And we have a joke going on in our company in EBS that our president of the board tested the solution on his wife, and she really was using it without any problems. So he confirmed, the president, that the solution is really simple if his wife can use it. So all the world can use it. Yeah, that's the joke going in the EBS. So here, a bit more details about the wire keypad and the AVA key, because they are inseparable and they work together. In all other systems, we need to press the combination of the key and secret codes in order to arm or disarm the keypad. As you can see in the screen, the keypad only has 4 buttons. Well, in reality, 5 function buttons, one being on the side being the panic buttons. But we have the button of arming, disarming, arming in the stay at home mode, and arming in the sleep mode, in the night mode. So by being close to the keypad with the AVA key close to it, for example, in my wallet, with my keys, I just press one button and the system is arming, press the disarm button and the system is disarming. It's that simple. So it has a built-in motion sensor to activate the keypad. So the keypad will know if someone is close, so it saves battery without the need of working. It will be in the sleep mode, but it wakes up after someone is close to it. And by detecting the signal from the AVA key, it allows me to disarm or arm the system. What is something very important with the development of those products is the transmission range of our wireless devices. The wireless keypad, as well as the other detectors, have the range of 1,200 meters in the open area. So it is really a big distance if it comes to the wireless communication, and gives us possibility of installing the keypads in parts of the house that are really far from each other and far from the control panel board. All right. Yeah, again, only one press to arm or disarm the system. Here, a few words about the line of the wireless detectors, the wireless motion sensor with camera, PeerCam 30, and wireless motion detector PR30, the regular one without the camera. Well, maybe just let us focus on the one with camera. It has built-in 5-megapixel camera, of course with infrared diode in order to take night photos. Pictures are taken by each violation while the system is armed, or on demand by the EBS security application. At any time that they want, the user can take a photo of his room to check what's happening. The resolution is 320 for 240 pixels, and the photos are being sent to the vision server, which EBS provides, and then passed to the mobile application. Of course, we give it the possibility to our clients to install the photo server and to pass the photos wherever they want. What is important is of course, again, transmission range, as in every of our transmitters, and the fact that it can have external power supply. So it doesn't need to rely only on batteries. It can be connected to a external power supply without any problem. With 12 volts, we can turn it on and work with the device. What is really important, it is not written here, is that the PeerCam accepts the SD cards, the SD memory cards. So we can put a memory card inside of the PeerCam, and every photo will be saved as well. Up to 1,000 photos can be saved on the internal memory card. So a user can have a quick access to their photos taken by the camera and to have them as an evidence in case of some emergency event. All right, the wireless window door opening, the magnetic sensor MC30, and the remote controller RC30. Yeah, if it comes to the magnetic sensor, it has a built-in input, NC type input that can be connected to it, and operation time on battery is up to 6 years. So it's really something impressive if it comes to remote devices, remote sensors, and remote controller. 5 programmable buttons, 4 in front and 1 in the back, the panic button. Every button, of course, can by default arm, disarm, arm in stay mode, arm in night mode, but we can, in the configuration of the control panel, we can change it that, for example, a button with the sun icon can enable our turn on our output. The button with the moon can turn off the output, so it is really configurable. And as I said, it has a multicolor LED built-in, which confirms to us by the two-way communication the state of the panel. So by pressing the arm button, the remote controller will illuminate the diode in the red color, confirming to the end user that he armed the panel successfully. All right, we also provide the wireless outdoor siren. So it can, again, operate on regular batteries, or we can supply the external power supply, again 12 volts of DC, and it can be connected to the panel wirelessly and supply us with the possibility of ringing an alarm wirelessly by the outdoor functionality. And here again, some words about the Z-Wave module and smart home accessories. Currently, we are integrated with the 5RO provider of Z-Wave devices. For now, we are supporting up to 16 smart home devices connected with the system. We are integrated with the wall plugs, controlling the turning on and or off some electronic devices, the dimmer, controlling the level of our lights, and the heat controller that we connect, by which we can control our temperature in our rooms. Of course, everything is manageable by the mobile application EBS Security. And the RF433 module, as I said at the beginning of our presentation, first EBS started with an older line of the alarm panels, which was called Callisto family. And of course, we can put a radio frequency module in the AVA Pro board for it to be compatible with the older sensor. Here they are presented, the most important of them being the motion detectors with PET-proof, which is PET-proof, flood detector, smoke detectors and gas detectors, some glass break detectors and movement detectors. And again, the solution of complete ecosystem. We do not provide only the bare alarm panel, only the bare board. We provide the softwares. Software being the communication server, the photo server, the application for the end user, and the application for the installer. And of course, for example, again, exactly how in the transmitters, the application for installer is available in the mobile version, and as well the desktop version. So here's how it looks like, some scheme of connection. Basically, by radio frequency, the remote devices connect to the board itself, and by GPRS or internet connection, all of the information go to the communication server called OSM, and the photos go to the photo server called OSM Vision. And by the application EBS security server, they go to the end user for their application and grant them easy access to their devices. And in the same way, it can work for the installers if they do not have any programming cables or the Bluetooth communication programmer. They can use the GPRS connection to the OSM communication server in order to pass remote commands to our devices and reprogram them remotely. And the EBS security app already presented by me, if it comes to the transmitters, I'm going to show it again for the AVA Pro, allows us to have control over various types of EBS devices. It is, in case of AVA Pro, it displays photos taken from PeerCam 30 and allows us to take photo on demand, and to control the smart home devices, turn on or off the wall plug, set the temperature, and set the level of the lights, and of course program some smart home scenes. By one click of the button, we can turn on all of the wall plugs and turn on all of the lights. However we want to program it, it can work like that. And the configuration tools. As I said, the application for the installer called EBS Config 2.0 has a desktop version, but of course mobile app version as well. It is the same application, so if the installer is really worked whole life with the desktop application and it for some reason needs to change one time for mobile application, will not have any kind of problem because the application is exactly the same, and it really gives by its nice look and self-explanatory tabs, gives possibility of controlling and programming the device in a really easy way. And what's new in the panel, what will come is that maybe not that important for European market, but the frequency that support working of the panel in Asia or in Latin America, new and improved mobile application, and better photo quality. All of the time our engineers are working on improving the photo quality and the application response time. So at all times it is being updated. You can say that weekly or bi-weekly. And upcoming releases are the Wi-Fi module that we can connect in the place of Ethernet module, and IP camera integration. So in the EBS security mobile application, working with alarm panels, we will have possibility of connecting external IP cameras and have the live view of our objects. Yeah, and to summarize, elegant, smart, and professional design. Here in the screen, you can see that the AVA Pro comes in the two color version, the black version and the white version. So the user has the possibility to check to change the version or choose the version that he wants to have installed in his house. And really, this design, we already have various compliments from various security companies that it really looks nice. Yeah, and that would conclude the AVA Pro presentation. Let me now just quickly share the screen of, again, my mobile phone to show you how does the application look if it comes to work with AVA Pro. Right. Can you see it?
Yes.
Okay.
Now, yes.
Perfect. Yeah, so again, the same application, as I said, we can work with the transmitters in our office, but in our home we have installed AVA Pro. That's not any type of problem. Going into the application, just checking the list of our devices. Here I have the By Demes AVA Pro. I already took photo of it, so it really is easily distinguishable. And yeah, let us check. as you see here, I have again the possibility of seeing all of the programmed partitions, because as I said, I can have up to 4 partitions in the panel programmed, and the quick glance of the system. Here, contrary to the transmitter, I have the AC connected, but the battery disconnected. So again, I can see that maybe something wrong happened with my system at the first glance, or maybe the installer didn't connect the battery properly. Yeah, just a quick update for the user. And the list of the partitions. I have configured in my example 4 partitions. So that's how it looks like. And each of them has the state showed in green. For example, if I go to partition number 2, I can quickly send a command to arm it. Now the command, again, by the remote server is being sent to the panel, and after the exit delay time, I will receive confirmation the color change of the partition, and yeah, that's that. Here, with the partition 1, I can see the image of photos, which means that it has a peer cam connected to this partition, and photos. It has some photos in the memory. EBS security applications support up to 3 photos for each partition. Here I took accidental photo of my, yeah, I don't know the word in English, sorry, of my roof. Oh, of my roof, yeah. So that's that. Sorry for the quality. The application that I'm using for screen sharing really lowered the quality, so sorry for that. Yeah, but as I said, on demand, by pressing the zone, I can take a photo, and I can send the command to the panel to take the photo. Yeah, and that's that. Again, I have the possibility of checking the events history, so I can see that I took new photo with the panel. I was arming and disarming before the presentation in order to check it. I will see that there was some zone alarm while I was moving in front of the movement detector while it was armed. So all of the information is stored here in the event history, and everything is being shown. Yeah, maybe just quickly go to some other object. Here is, oh yeah, this is our test object in our EBS office. So here is my friends working in the office presented. That's how it looks like in the application. Going back to my example here at my desk. Yeah, the partition 2 armed. The possibility of controlling up to 4 outputs. If I had some diodes connected, some lights connected to it, or even the wired siren, I can have the possibility to check their state or turn them on or off. And the smart home functionality, here I only have the wall plug programmed in the panel. Just by selecting it, I can turn it on or turn it off. It's really easy to configure it. And again, all of the informations are really easy to customize. I can manage some smart home scenes, so I can add some scene. Just checking, pulling from the list of the devices that are ready to use. I can check that turn on. If I had more devices, I could check them, put them on this list, and have this configured as a scene to, for example, named coming back home. Just by pressing on this scene, I will turn all of the lights on and change the temperature to the higher one, for example. And of course, every zone, every partition, and each detail of the parameters of the object can be defined by me. So I know, for example, that the partition 1 refers to the first floor. That's that. I'm just simply, I need to just save the data, and that's done. And here I have it, first floor, and I can work with that later. Yeah, so I believe that would be all if it comes to our presentations. Jose, if you would like to.
I would like to. Yeah, thank you much. First of all, thank you for your excellent presentations. I would just like to add 2 notes. We saw today 2 families of products, EPX 400 60 transmitter and AVA Pro. I would like to say just this, share these thoughts with you. When it comes to AVA Pro, we're talking about the Irish market and the Dutch market. I'm not sure if the certification grade 2 is absolutely necessary in these markets. Maybe you can clarify this to me. Because if it is, we still have to wait, right, to propose it. If it's not required, we can already propose it, right? But please help me understand if it's also necessary, like it is in Spain, for example. This is the first point. The second point regarding AVA Pro, it's a very interesting control panel, as you can see, but there are other control panels in the market. And why am I saying this? Because when I think about the opportunity for By Demes, customers, I'm thinking mainly about the transmitter, EPX 400, because there is no such comparable, no product comparable with such device. And By Demes has the exclusivity of this product. So I see a big opportunity. You could see from the presentation today, or maybe get the idea that the transmitter is to connect to a control panel and make the remote configuration of those control panels already installed in the field, which is true, but it offers also a lot of possibilities. First of all, it can be a mini control panel itself because of the number of inputs that are part of the device. But also it has other applications. I'm thinking, for example, about our case here in Poland with Euronet, the net of ATMs, right? It use 5,000 of these ATMs use our transmitters because they allow to connect sensors, right? Like, for example, vibration or shock sensor or smoke or magnetic, right? And so the 5,000 ATMs in Poland are monitored by our transmitter. And during these days that we are living this particular crisis with COVID-19, also we can think about other possibilities for business with this transmitter. For example, the vending machine, right? That sell tobacco, cigarettes, or chocolates, or drinks, right? We can install a transmitter with a shock sensor, for example, vibration sensor, and a magnetic contact. Okay, and in case of sabotage, because these machines are very exposed now, there are nobody on the street, so many bad guys might have some ideas, right? And this way, we are protecting the business of the guys from the vending machines, and at the same time, we are also giving other opportunity of business for the monitoring station. One very important thing that I would like to highlight is that for the monitoring centrals, stations, our communication server has no costs. It can be on their side, and they can manage 10,000 devices, EBS devices per server. So there are a lot of things here that we can brainstorm together, right? But just to let you know that there are many possibilities in the case of the transmitter. And I have nothing else to add.
So now maybe someone has some kind of question,
Mhm.
please write it in the chat. Of course, as I said in the presentation, we will be sharing all of the manuals and the presentations after our
Correct.
presentation is done.
No, I think it's quite clear. The message, the presentation is quite good. Thank you. And the only thing that I have one doubt that I think I asked you on the fair on Sicur, but I don't remember now. It's the AVA system, okay, the panel.
Yeah. Yep.
When you ask for a picture, it's a picture or can be like a stream of pictures or a video?
No, it's only one picture.
Only one picture. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. That's the only doubt. No, I don't have nothing more. It's quite good. Thank you very much. Thank you for your
Welcome.
participate.
Thank you for us letting
For your
us do it.
support. I don't know if Just or Ronnie or Daniel have something to say.
No, for me, it's very clear and it was very informative. So thank you for that.
Thank you for your attention. Thank you for your care.
Thank you. Thank you, Jose.
Okay.
Thank you, Maciej.
Okay.
Thank you.
Great.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
Have a nice